Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. Nelson is not my real name. That is a pen name that I came up with for this newsletter. I heard an interesting podcast recently about the entertainment industry. It's called Blank Check. I put a link to it in the written version of this newsletter. And it's a podcast about people in show business who have a huge hit, then basically get a blank check from Hollywood. And then what happens next? So basically, they do something good and get told, hey, here's a blank check. Go do whatever you want with it. And the podcast, it's certainly not 100%, but for the most part, the podcast guys, they found that most people who hit it big and end up getting to do whatever they want in the immediate aftermath of a big hit, they do not end up making the wisest choices. For example, after George Lucas did the original Star Wars trilogy, some of his next projects included such hits as Howard the Duck, Willow, and two different Ewok TV shows. So that's not the greatest follow-up to three classic movies from the past 100 years or so. I am not knowledgeable enough about Hollywood to comment on what that all means for successful entertainment people, but I can say a sober takeaway that I was left with, which is how dangerous success can be for us sober people. I've seen so many people, including myself. That's why I'm writing this, because of myself mostly, but I've seen people have tremendous success in recovery and then completely eat shit, just face plant in their own success. And sometimes it ends up in relapse. But more often, I've seen people, including me, that don't drink or do drugs, but they're not really sober. They're like more dry than sober. And they're miserable, And again, that's definitely happened to me. It's been the case for me a few times. I've had a very nice life for quite a few years now since I got sober. I'm not wealthy, for sure. I'm not wealthy by any means, but I pay my bills on time these days. My marriage is really good. My kids are healthy and they're happy. I couldn't have come up with a better professional life for myself than I have. And I've never felt closer with my friends and family, and my sobriety network is awesome. It's been an amazing turnaround that I'm really proud of. But it has also meant my life gets very busy and a lot of success. And whether I purposely make this decision or not, somewhere deep down in me, I start to think I have it all figured out. I don't pray very much, because who needs God if I'm making all this shit happen for myself? Start to skip a meeting or two here or there. I go on vacation. I don't get to any meetings. I don't call anybody in sobriety. I basically don't do anything for 5, 6, 7 days. Because you know what? I earned it, right? I work hard. Well, I have rarely seen that story end well for me or others. And to go back to that blank check idea, just like directors who have that one big hit and then get to do whatever they want with very little oversight, I can't do that. I need editors for my writing. I need sober friends to help me with recovery. Just like if I have a medical problem, I call a doctor. If I have a legal issue, I need an attorney, not me. It cannot be me deciding that I know what I'm doing and that I'll represent myself in court. I can't do that in life, in court, at the doctor's office, nowhere. I can't do it. It's a terrible idea. So I'm going to try to remember that even on my very best days, I do not get a blank check the next day. What would the opposite of a blank check be? Like a bounce check? Like, yeah, fine. Let's go with that. Next great day I have, I'm going to wake up the next morning and say, you know what? I don't have a blank check today. I have a bounce check. Thank you for letting me share.